So it emerged during the week that Mario Balotelli has put in an order, for a very famous Italian sculptor to essentially commission a statue of himself to go in place outside his new mansion in Milan. He's been back in Italy for maybe a month or so. He's tearing it apart, mind you. That being said, there's a potential libel case as he might have actually copied us with one of soccer's greatest presenters being yours truly. And if you have a look at the statue we've got outside the Sherlock Holmes, you can see, it's a bit iffy with the kind of copyright, so he's ripping us off. But anyway, we'll see what happens. So the football week this week, Chelsea host West Brom. Chelsea were dispatched at Man City last week 2-0. It wasn't a glamorous performance in City's behalf. Chelsea just couldn't quite meet up to last season's Champions Challenge. And Rafa Benitez, it has been confirmed that he's only going to be the interim manager. He's kind of shits about that a little bit. And, he said he should have been given a proper title rather than interim caretaker. And so he will leave at the end of the season. So adios, Rafa. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, I'm sure all the Chelsea fans are thinking. They play West Brom this week, who are a tough side to play, but at Stamford Bridge that'll be way too much and they'll win 2-0. Next we see Everton hosting Reading. Everton, they're pushing up the table. They've been really, really competitive this year, but they lost 2-1 last week, which was very, very disappointing to Norwich of all sides. They host Reading this week. They should do well, and that'll be one good. Then we see Man United host Norwich at 2 AM on Saturday evening. Norwich, of course, beat Everton 2-1 last week. That was their first win in the month, which is a huge thing for them to try and keep them just up in the Premier season. United, on the other hand, went down to QPR in London, won 2-0, which was a great result for them to keep their title challenge going. They've got a 12-point lead ahead of Man City. Rafael, the right back, scored an absolute screamer outside the box, possibly the best goal he's ever scored, probably ever will score. It was just, wow, an amazing goal. And Rio Ferdinand has really cemented himself this year as one of the Premier League's better defenders. He's mainly because he's stayed fit. He's always had the class, he's always had the smarts, and now he's fit, he's healthy, he's doing well, and he's a key part in United doing well. They host Norwich. Norwich are $10 outsiders, which is going to be much, much too much. United will win 4-1. Then we see Southampton host QPR down at St Mary's Stadium by the beach. QPR, they competed against United last week. That being said, they're still not quite there. And Southampton, tough place to play. They beat City there a couple of weeks ago, and they'll beat QPR this week 1-0. Stoke play West Ham next. Stoke and West Ham are the two worst performers on the road. West Ham have won twice, Stoke have won once away from home this season, which is very, very ordinary. Both have only scored 8 away goals in the league this season. That being said, the Britannia Stadium is a very tough place to play, and Stoke will win 2-0. Sunderland play Fulham later that evening, and well, what can we say? Fulham played quite well last week. Dimitar Berbatov scored a scorching volley just inside the box in what was his 200 EPL game. He's now scored 85 goals in the league. They'll probably travel to Sunderland, and they'll be 100. Then Swansea play Newcastle. Swansea fresh off their 5-0 drubbing of Bradford in the League Cup final last week. It was coach Michel Laudrup's greatest ever moment in his career. And this is a man who won leagues with Madrid, Barcelona, and in Italy at Juventus. And to win the League Cup responsibility, he's really proud of that, which he should be. They played really well. They are still a very, very good team. Newcastle, they struggle on the road, and Swansea will win 2-1 at the Liberty Stadium. Then Wigan play Liverpool later that morning. Liverpool had a reversal of Swansea's 5-0 win over Bradford in the League Cup, when they beat Swansea in turn 5-0 last time in the league, which was a couple of weeks ago now. And they will probably travel to Wigan, probably be too much, and it'll be 2-1. Then our match of the week is the North London derby. Tottenham hosting Arsenal. This will be massive. Spurs have moved up to 3rd on the table with a big win away at West Ham last week. Gareth Bale, he's just, he's the whole team at the moment. He has great support, but he plays in wherever else, all across the pitch, and just scores goals. He scored a lovely goal on the edge of the box first, and then 91st minute with the scores tied for. Let's just have a pop. He lobbed the keeper about 30 yards out. It was a brilliant goal, one of the best goals of the season, to give Spurs the lead. So they've pushed up to third, which starts to ask the question, are they good enough to make second? If City start to falter, Spurs are only a couple of points shy, and they could do it. Or will they be the Spuds like last season and just choke toward the end? They need to finish at least third. They need to guarantee European football, mainly to keep Bale, mainly to keep really rising their aspirations as one of the bigger clubs in England. That being said, classic Spurs always used to sing the song that we your season up to Arsenal, when they would suffer Arsenal's scupper their chances of going for the title. That being said, Arsenal on the other hand, that's about what they can achieve this year. They're still pushing for the top 4, but it'll be huge for their fans if they can stuff up top. And mainly that'll be through Jack Wilshere, who is struggling with support recently, but they did have a 2-1 win over Villa, which snapped a bit of a losing streak in the league and the Champions League. That being said, this is probably the best odds to get on if you want to have a punt this week. Tottenham are $2.65 to win, which is pretty generous considering they're applying in great form. I'd say 3-1 at Tottenham. And our last match of the week sees Aston Villa host Man City. City, their win over Chelsea was huge in the sense that it didn't look really that great or glamorous, but it was a big, big test of their mettle, and it's shown that they're going to compete and they're going to go all the way down to the wire and not just roll over when United have such a huge lead, and they didn't let it get out to a possible 15 points that it could have. It's still at 12 points, there's a couple games left, they can wrest it back, and they'll need to do it by going down to Villa and winning 2-0, which they should do. And so that's us for another week. Come in, have a look at the football, and we'll catch you next week.